Hi, welcome to Python strings. So what are Python strings? Python string literals are surrounded by either single quotation marks or double quotation marks. For example, we have hello, which is in single quotation marks, is the same as hello as in double quotation marks. You can display a string literal with the print function. So assigning a string to a variable is done with the variable name followed by an equal sign and the string. So let's see how this is done. So here on the console, we can see that we have two strings, A, which is hello in double quotation marks, and we have B in single quotation marks. So let's run it to print them out. So we can see that both of them give us hello. So you can also assign a multi-line string to a variable by using three quotes. As we can see in this example, this string has been assigned to a variable A. So let's run it and see. So back on our console, we can see that this string in triple quotes has been issued to a variable B. So let's print and see the result. We can see that it printed out the string. So like many other popular programming languages, strings in Python are arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters. However, Python does not have a character data type. A single character is simply a string with a length of 1. Square brackets can be used to access elements of the string. So in this case, we can see that we've been asked to get the character at position 1, remembering that the first character has the position 0. So we are going to check this out on the console. So over here, we can see that A has been issued a value of hello world, which is a string. So we are asked to find out the index of 1. So to find that out, you should remember that the first character is of 0 index. So you would start counting from the first, which is 0. 1 is the next, 2 is the next after that, 3, and so on. So in this case, we're asked to find the index of 1, which is E, because H is 0 and E is 1. So let's run that to confirm it. And we can see it gives us a value of E. So in Python, you can also return a range of characters by using the slice syntax, which is the process called slicing. So you specify the start index and the end index separated by a colon to return a part of the string. So as we can see in the example given here, we have a string called hello Mike assigned to a value or a variable of B, indicating a start index of 2, end index of 5, and a step index. So what this means is that you should start counting from the index of 2 in that string, which is, in this case, the first L in hello, because H is 0, E is 1, and the next L is 2. So we have that it should start counting from the first L, and it should keep going to the 5th index, which is the end index. But the end index is not counted, so you stop right before the end index. So in this case, we should see that it should start counting from the first L and it should end just before the comma after O, which is the 5th index. So let's try that and see. So over here we can see that B has been assigned the value hello Mike as a string, and we've been asked to find out the string of characters starting from the index of 2 and ending just before the index of 5. So let's run this and see. So what we have here is LLO, which means that it started counting from the second index, which is the first L, because the 0 index is H, the index of 1 is E, and the index of 2 is that L. So it will start counting from L, moving forwards. So it counts L, which is index of 2, the next L is index of 3, and the O is index of 4. But we are to end before the end index, which is 5. So it will stop at that point. Also, on this second example, we can see that B has been assigned the value of hello everyone. So in the first print statement, we've been asked to print out the first index, which is the 0 index, which is expected to be from H forwards to just before the 10th index. So let's just run the print statements and confirm that. So the first one, it gives us hello ever. And if we look at the variable B, we see that H, which is the 0 index, so it reads that and it starts from there and continues going forward. So H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, second L is 3, O is 4, the space in between is 5, E is 6, V is 7, E is 8, R is 9, Y is 10. So remember, it shouldn't count the end index. So it will just stop before the Y. That's why we have hello ever. So in the second example, this next example here, we can see it tells us to print out a start index from 2 and towards the end index of 5. So we'll do that again. We'll count L, which is 3, O, which is 4, and the space, which is the fifth character or fifth index, shouldn't be counted. So it will end just before it. So what we should have is LLO, which is what we have here. Then the next one says print from the index of 1, which is the second character, because H is the first character index of 0 and E is the second character index of 1. So we'll start counting from there. But let's take note also that we're meant to end on the index of 8. So let's figure that out, what the index of 8 is. So if H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, second L 3, O is 4, space is 5, E is 6, V is 7, then the 8 should be the next E. So it means that we are expected to start counting from E in hello, which is of index 1, to the second E in everyone, which is index 8. So it's meant to end just before it. Now let's take note of the third indicator, which says 1, and that's a step index of 1. So what that means is that take a step of 1, which is the next character should be counted. That's what it means. So in this case, we'll have E, then the next one is L, which should be counted, then the next one L, O space E, V. So we can't go on to the next one, which is E, because it's the end index and we're not meant to count the end index. So that's why we have ELO and space EV. So let's try our hands on the last one. The last one says print out from index of 2 and end at index of 10 in a step of 3. So it means we're going to start counting from index of 2, which we have already figured out as the first L in hello. So what is the 10th index, or the index of 10 in this case? So let's start counting. Hello, H is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, space is 5, E is 6, V is 7, E is 8, R is 9, and Y in everyone is 10. So Y is going to be omitted. So we're meant to end just before Y. So we're starting on the first L of hello and we're ending printing out just before the Y in everyone. So it says in a step index of 3 means that we only count from the first place, we only count the next 3 steps. So in this case, it means that we're starting from index of 2, which is L, the first L, then we count 3. That is L, O, and space. So space is the third step. So the space would be entered. So it will be L space, then we'll count 3 again. E, V, E. So E is the third step after that. So E will be counted. So it will be L space E. Then we'll try again to count 3 steps. R, Y, O. O would not be counted. Why? Because our end index is an index of 10, so which is Y. So O comes after Y. So you don't count the end index and everything that comes after it. So our result should be what we have here, which is L space E. So you can also use negative indexes to start the slice from the end of the string. And in this example, we have been given 2 print statements. The first one, that we should print the variable b with a start index of -5 and end index of -2. And the second one adds a step index of 2. So let's try that out. So back on the console, we can see that b has been assigned the value of hello Mike, and we're to print from the index of -5 to the index of -2. So when you're using negation with indexing, it means you're going to start counting from the last character. And in this case, the last character, which is this exclamation mark, is going to be an index of -1 instead of 0, unlike when we did the one starting from the first character. So you're going to start with -1, which is the exclamation mark. So let's run this and see what it will give us. So the first print statement gives us make, M-I-K, and we know definitely it's from Mike. So how did we get that? It's because it said start from the index of -5. So we start counting the exclamation mark as -1, the next E backwards -2, K -3, I -4, and M -5. So it picks that as the index of -5 and it starts counting forwards now. So it moves forwards. The next one is I, which is -4, K, which is -3, and E, which is -2. But remember, it doesn't count the end index, which is -2, so it will omit that out. So what we should have is MIK, which is what it gave us here. So the second one is the same thing. You'd start with the index of -8 and end with the index of -2 with a step of 1. So what it means is we need to find out what the index of -8 is from this string statement. So to do that, we start counting again from the end of the string, that's exclamation mark being -1, E -2, K -3, I -4, M -5, the space -6, comma -7, and O, which is in hello, -8. So we start counting from O, which is -8 in hello, then comma, which is -7, then space, which is -6, M, which is -5, I -4, K -3, E -2. So we omit the E because we don't count the end index. And while we were counting it forwards in one step, it's because that's what we were asked to do. So the output here should give O, from the O, which is the -8 index, the comma, the space, MIK, omitting the E, which is the end index. So let's look at this last example. We're meant to print out part of the string with the first index as -10, the end index as -2, and the step as 2. So let's figure out what -10 index is. So we'll start from the end of the string, which is the exclamation mark, which is -1, E -2, K -3, I -4, M -5, space -6, comma -7, O -8, L -9, and the first L in hello is now -10. So we'll start counting from the start index, which is the first L, and we're meant to take a step of 2 towards the last index, which is -2, of which we know is the last E in Mike. So let's start counting. So we'll take the first L in hello as -10. Then let's move 2 steps forward. So L and O. So O will be our next index, which is what we are going to take in. Then take 2 steps again, the comma and the space. So the space will be our next index, which is what we'll take in. And the next 2 steps we'll take again, M and I. So I is going to be the next index we'll take, which is step of 2. And the next step of 2 is K and E. We wouldn't take E because E is the last index and we always omit the last index, which is -2. So that was how we ended up with the LO space I. So to get the length of a string, that which is the number of characters of that string, we use the len function. So we'll print out the length of A to find out how many numbers of character that variable has. So let's try that out. So we are back on this editor and we can see that hello Mike has been assigned to a variable A. So we're meant to print out the length of A. So let's try that out. So here it gives us 12, meaning that there are 12 characters within this string statements that makes up the variable A. So let's try and take away the last 2 characters and try it again. So let's save and run again. And now it's telling us that we have 10 characters in that string. So to check if a certain phrase or character is present in a string, we can use the keywords in or not in. So in this example, we'll be given a variable called txt and the value is the rain keeps falling during winter. So let's try it on our console. So we're back on the editor and we can see that the text, which is a variable, has been given the value the rain keeps falling during winter. And we have a variable x which takes out a group of characters and tries to compare it to see if it is within the text, which is txt, the variable. And we also have another variable y which takes out that same character set and determines whether it's not in the variable txt. So we expect that x should give us a true Boolean value as a result. Why? Because AIN is a group of characters that are found in rain in that string statement. And we also expect that it should output that y is false because we know that AIN, which is a group of characters, a set of characters, are found in rain in the string statement txt. So let's run this term in the terminal and see. So here we have true, as x is true, that AIN is found in txt, and we have the next one, y is false, because AIN is in the string statement. So lastly, we're going to look at how to concatenate a string or combine the strings. So you can combine or concatenate 2 strings with the use of the plus operator. So let's try that out. So over here we can see that the value of hello has been assigned to A and Mike has been assigned to B. And we have a variable C, which is the joining or the addition of a variable A and B, which are strings. So we also have D, which is a variable that is a joining of A, variable A, to a space and also to another variable B, which you know as hello and Mike, which are strings. So let's run this and see. So the first print statement, which is print of C, gives us A, which is hello, and B, which is Mike, has been joined together to create a new string. But the second one created a space in between because D has A, which is hello, the space which it added, and B, which is Mike. So the output was hello space Mike.